Wall Street, Dow Jones is up 57 points to 50,172. Nasdaq is up 197 to 23,228, and the S&P 500 up 35 points to 6,967. KTRS Sports. SLU basketball's winning streak reached 17 games with an 82-58 victory over LaSalle. Is currently the third longest winning streak in all of Division I men's basketball. And Mizzou basketball went on the road and dominated South Carolina, 78-59. The Tigers are now quietly 6-4 in the SEC, with a big one coming up Wednesday night at Texas A&M. KTRS weather today: sunny, high of 57. Tonight clear, overnight low of 37. Tomorrow sunny, high of 59. Right now it's 36 degrees. The time is 10:06. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
And now, the Frank and Jill Show. It's Frank Cusimano, Jill Farmer on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. Powered by STL Medical Weight Loss. See the Dr. Joe difference at stlmedweightloss.com.
Good morning and welcome. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Really good program lined up for you today. Anita Mannion on politics. She's the great UMSL political scientist. Patrick Risch on Super Bowl commercials. There were some good ones yesterday. He'll join us at 10:50. Success St. Louis style, Margie Emo. What a success story the Emo family has been. She and her husband Ed opened their first pizza parlor, I believe, in 1964. And if you live in St. Louis, I'm sure you've had at least one Emo's Pizza in your life. In fact, we had some last night at Channel 5. Good to be with both of you here today. Connor McCarthy, Jill Farmer. What was your Super Bowl like?
It was great. I'll be talking about a little bit about it in the opening dialogue. It was just a great weekend in general. Friday night followed a page from the Frank book, went to Bartolino's for dinner for the first time in a minute. So good. And you often say, I don't order spaghetti and meatballs at a restaurant because I think, I can make that at home. You kind of use it as a bellwether or as a barometer of the quality of the restaurant. So I took another page from your book, did that. I sat there and just looked at John and said, I never knew it could taste, spaghetti and meatballs could taste this good.
Did you have red wine with it?
We did not. I did not have red wine. They do a drink called a Italian 75, and I like a French 75, and this was their take on it. It was very, very good. It was really tasty. John got the I think it was a sole dish, but it was covered in cheese and mushrooms. It was like a sole modega. It was really, really good.
Oh, the modega. Yes.
And then he had a side of pasta with the pink sauce. The pink sauce shouldn't be legal. It was really, really good. So that was very fun.
Combination of the red and white comes out pink, and it's so freaking good.
Yes, and yesterday we went to the Rep, the final performance of this Black Box Theater, very interactive show they did called Mrs. Chrisman's Party. It was out of this world. We had an absolute blast. Place was packed, and Lynn Venhouse had recommended it. John and I both really enjoyed it. They're just doing such good stuff over at the Rep all the time.
Which Bartolino's were you at?
We were at the one on the hill, which is, of course, Hampton and 44.
Have you been to the new Bartolino's? I think it is the most beautiful single restaurant in St. Louis.
Wow.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money, and it shows. It's unbelievable.
Well, I think the decor of the one on the hill is great. And you know what's funny is it was such a mix of people. Like there were regulars there, a guy that sat next to us that's there, I think, most Fridays, movers and shakers, average folks coming in, celebrating different things. It was a nice mix.
I've never met like a family that has so many restaurants where other people have this, that's the best Bartolino's. Like people are saying, well, the one out west now is the best. It's the most beautiful. The one people swear by the food, Lindbergh and South County, and then where you went, the one on the hill has always been just awesome. And then all these arguments for Chris's Pancake House and all the new ones. That Saraceno family, they're amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, so Connor, Super Bowl prop bets, how'd it go?
Some hit, some missed. Slightly on top on the whole.
What was a good one?
And for prop, the rushing yards for Kenneth Walker, the Seattle running back. That was you were in the clear for that one. You were in the clear. My more far-flung ones didn't hit, but that's the fun.
I thought you had a good one about 2.5
Yeah,
over about the people who would throw a pass in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, what would if you would have bet 100 on that? What would that have won, roughly?
It would have. I think it was like minus 110. So it wins you like $90. So $190.
You guys are speaking a foreign language. I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Frank apparently cleaned up from what he told me.
And
Frank
I was not going to do it. Connor told me. I remember he said something Friday during commercial break, Joe. It's the Super Bowl, right? Maybe we were leaving. You got to make a few bets. So Sunday morning went out to.
I think we were leaving. I think Jill had already walked out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So I couldn't turn around and give you my disapproving glare.
Yes. My last bet was, remember I told you I made bet on the Blues last year to win those games, and then hid the money for Monique and got Dom a suit for being a lawyer. So I broke the streak, and it was fun. I'm glad I did it. So.
And you're going to keep hiding this money, I think.
Yeah, she's out of town. She doesn't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. What happens when she's gone?
Speaking of out of town, I do want to say a quick, our loyal listeners down in Cape Coral, Florida, my in-laws, father-in-law's birthday today, and their 57th wedding anniversary. How about that? Celebrating in Florida today. Yep, great people.
All right, let's break a little bit earlier because we got a couple of really good guests in this first hour of the Frank and Jill Show. We'll come back with the opening dialogue right after this.
The final stretch of your career isn't about slowing down. It's about getting strategic. Those last 5 years before retirement can define your financial future, from maximizing contributions and paying off high-interest debt to mapping out health care and testing your post-retirement budget. This is your moment to take control. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we help you connect all the moving parts. Real peace of mind starts long before your final paycheck. Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Pioneer Wealth Management and Creative One Wealth are unaffiliated. Life insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.
Hey, it's Heidi, and if the new year means a new look for your home, look no further than Dalco Home Remodeling. Let me just tell you, customers could not be happier. If you're looking for new windows, Dalco Home Remodeling has you covered. If you're looking for a new door, they can custom make you a front door. They can do French doors, they can do sliding doors, and they can stain it or paint it to whatever you have going on or whatever new color you want to add. Let me just tell you about some of the happy clients. You've got Alex, who said, I had Dalco replace several windows and doors on one of my properties, did a top quality job for me, would definitely recommend. And he's just one of many. You know, Dalco Home Remodeling has been around for more than 50 years. They are family owned and family operated. So if you're ready to get your dream project underway, go to DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. You can also give them a call at 314-298-7300.
The boats are back at Missouri's premier boat and fishing show.
February 20th through 22nd at America Center.
Take advantage of screaming deals on hundreds of boats,
Check out wake surf and pontoon boats,
fishing boats and luxury cruisers.
personal watercraft, and more.
Enjoy non-stop entertainment.
Live stingrays, pro angler demos.
Get ready for fun in the sun.
At the St. Louis Boat and Fishing Show.
February 20th through 22nd at America Center.
Go to stlouisboatshows.com for info. Kids are free.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment, you fill out a health questionnaire form, you get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home, and then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners, and then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Watch your favorite team, eat your favorite food. It's the Village Bar. You've heard about the world-famous cheeseburger. Stop by and check it out. Even better, bring your friends on your way to the game, after the game, or just watching the game. Food, sports, and a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talkin' Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
Attention KTRS listeners, Appliance Discounters has a deal for you. Shop now and receive an instant 5% rebate off your next appliance purchase. 5% instant savings off their already low prices. And you can receive other factory rebates, some up to $1,500 direct from the manufacturer. Huge savings, locally owned, next day delivery, 18 months interest-free financing. Appliance Discounters with 6 area locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
All right, number one, thought one. I don't know how the directors and producers of commercials do it. Makes you almost emotional or teary-eyed in a 60-second spot for people you've never heard of before. I mean, it takes a movie like an hour and a half. But give it to Lay's potato chips. If you didn't see it, Google it right now and tell me if it doesn't move you. It's called Last Harvest, I believe. It's about a father and his daughter on the farm as she gets ready to take over as the next generation. I don't know this elderly gentleman or his daughter, and they are actors, I should say, but I really like them. I feel like this is a good man who worked hard on the farm, and I feel like this is a great daughter who loves and respects her father. The flashbacks they have of them growing up together and spending time on the farm, oh my goodness. It's how a potato comes to life. I'm going to Schnucks right now and buy a ton of potato chips because Lay's did something so wonderful, so family-ish, so non-political. I mean, there were a lot of good Super Bowl commercials yesterday. That, I thought, was the best. We'll get into it with Dr. Patrick Risch a little bit later. And by the way, how in the heck can Dunkin' Donuts pay the following people to be in their commercial? Ted Danson, Jason Alexander, Matt LeBlanc, Jennifer Aniston, Ben Affleck, and Tom Brady, all in one commercial. How do they pay them and think, yeah, after you pay them, we're going to get good bang for our buck? But that was insane. I don't know if the commercial was any good, but seeing all those stars is crazy.
Yeah, I absolutely, there's a lot of things I liked about the Super Bowl yesterday. First of all, we were smart and didn't have any good unhealthy snacks at our house to eat, so we went to Maggie O'Brien's to enjoy some wings, of course, some of the Reuben rolls. I mean, those are so flippin' good, right? Like the Reuben sandwich, egg roll things that are out of this world. Really fun. Fun crowd. Wasn't overly crowded, but it was really great. I thought there were many enjoyable commercials, and I am looking forward to talking with Patrick Risch. Of course, he's our sports and business experts, talk about what kind of bang for the buck the advertisers got for what they spend. Some standouts for me were the Kurt Russell Ultra commercial. I did like the Guy Fieri one for Bosch dishwashers where you couldn't tell it was him, but did you look at him and think, how do I know that guy?
Yeah.
I did. Exactly same thing. You mentioned the star-studded Dunkin' commercial. How about the karaoke song, Rock Your Body by the Backstreet Boys, where they just did it at karaoke? Apparently, I have some friends that were at parties. If people at the parties that you were at were ages around their 40s, everybody stopped and was singing along with the karaoke in the commercial at the top of their lungs and then waiting to see who it was. So I think that was...
Well, I mean, your kind of Super Bowl parties.
Yeah, not yours. Did you not? Did you go to the one and have...
I went for about 20 minutes.
Did you eat just enough to eat a little bit of...
The meat wasn't even ready. I went back to the house and watched alone with Reggie and took notes. I got a bunch of notes.
Ben Stiller for Instacart, that Zoolander style one was very fun. Andy Samberg peddling Hellman's as that Neil Diamond impersonator. I thought it was really fun. I liked Bad Bunny. I did. I thought it was enjoyable. I was tapping along, didn't know the words necessarily. I kind of liked the musical style of it, and I thought it was a good time for sure. But my favorite part was Brandi Carlile opening with America the Beautiful.
All right. Thought.
It was really, really good.
I did. Was that like that was right before the game?
Yeah, right before the national anthem.
Driving right. I didn't get to see that. All right, thought two, the game. Sorry, Agnes, with 125 million watching, I can have a few minutes. We'll make it interesting. Emotions, there was a part of me that when it looked really bleak for the Patriots, which was most of the game, I wanted that franchise to be thoroughly embarrassed and humiliated. It wasn't right that you win 6 Super Bowls and you can come back so quickly. But then when Drake May threw the touchdown, I thought, what the heck? Let's make this a close game and have some drama. It's also a Super Bowl where you just never know how your life and career is going to unfold. I've mentioned this before, but the Super Bowl winning quarterback, Sam Darnold, was let go by the Jets, Panthers, 49ers, and Vikings. I mean, the Jets actually thought a fellow named Zach Wilson was better, so they parted ways with Darnold. Zach Wilson is now known more for sleeping with his best friend's mom than his football career. Happy for Sam Darnold, seems like a real humble guy. And I think it's a theory, it's not just mine, it's everybody's, that when you experience failure and rejection, you come away better for it. And Sam Darnold, I think, he's probably always been humble, but he's gone through a lot, and it's really cool for him to see that success. Then there's the coach, Mike McDonald, graduate assistant at Georgia, making no money. His job security is not great. He gets a $55,000 a year offer for the accounting firm of KPMG. Instead, he ends up a coaching intern with the Ravens, and last night he wins a Super Bowl. I mean, think about some great coaches, Don Coryell, Bud Grant, Marty Schottenheimer. They never won Super Bowls, and now this 38-year-old man wins one. He may be headed for coaching greatness. You just never know how your life is going to go. The quarterback and the coach, living proof.
Those are excellent. Mike McDonald went to church with some friends of ours in Baltimore and said he was just the most humble, nice guy, never missed mass, just really cared about other people, very humble about his own, the experience that he had that. And then a story very similar to the one that you talked about briefly, Eric Saubert, as we said, a good friend of my daughter's from Drake University, football player in a Pioneer League, decided to go try it and kind of has hung on by a string in the pros for the last few years, had a touchdown catch for Seattle, got a contract with them, and he played in multiple. He was out on the field multiple times yesterday, number 81. We had a great time. One of the touchdowns where the 88, the tight end, got a touchdown. In our family group text, I said, I call that touchdown possible by Eric Saubert's block. But it was,
your friend Eric, for doing that, is going to make about, I think it's like $180,000 to the winning team. Player just gets a check for that.
That's awesome. And I mean, it would have been one thing to even stand on the sidelines, but the fact that he played many plays, and a couple of times we were like, he's open. He didn't get a catch necessarily, but it's just a real thrill. And he's a nice guy. And he has definitely not had a fast path toward NFL success. He's worked really, really hard and had lots of disappointments that have led to this moment. So we're very excited about him. In other news today, 8 months after last May's tornado, one thing is clear in St. Louis. St. Louis Magazine reporting this morning, getting federal disaster money is a slow, grinding process unless apparently you're buying a boat. City leaders say FEMA approved tens of millions of dollars last fall for tornado debris removal, right? That's what's holding everything up, is we cannot get the debris out to be able to get this land cleared and things moving. Months later, most of that money still has not reached the city. It's not the city's fault. Reimbursements for the emergency expenses are expected to trickle in. This delay is having real consequences in St. Louis. Cleanup takes longer. Repairs wait. Residents wonder what's happening. And it's catching the attention of people like the Wall Street Journal and others. During that same period, FEMA approved and delivered more than $400,000 for a new 28-foot patrol boat for St. Louis County's police department, applied for in August and funded by September. That's 30 days, people. I'm not saying that St. Louis County doesn't need that boat. We'll talk about what it's used for in a second. But nationally, cities are saying FEMA disaster aid has been slowed by a brand new layers of federal review, even as other funding streams move faster. The boat, police say, is going to patrol the Port of St. Louis, inspect bridges and critical infrastructure. Apparently, anything that's requested by law enforcement gets fast-tracked by the federal government right now, but anything that isn't fast-tracked has to go through new layers of scrutiny to make sure that there isn't, the payments are actually going where they're saying they're going. The problem is the homeowners here in St. Louis are suffering from those delays.
And how much should it cost again, the boat?
$400,000.
What do they need a boat for?
Well,
you said you were going to mention what it's actually used for.
It's inspecting bridges and critical infrastructure, which is true. There's a part of what they have to do that does involve, the riverfront. And so I'm not. And if law enforcement generally says they need something, it's because they have a situation that has occurred that they have been unable to meet the needs of. It's just, I think St. Louis Magazine doing some good reporting, pointing out that there just seems to be an irony here that we have, all this millions and millions of dollars promised to it, and it hasn't gone through yet.
All right, thought three, some quickies. The Lincoln Lawyer, Mickey Haller, is just awesome. Reggie and I stayed up, watched all 10 episodes over the weekend. Folks, you will love it. I'm not steering you wrong. He's just cool, and both ex-wives are sensational in the show. Had an incredible meal at Lester's on Friday. It was crazy. I looked to my right. At one table was my brother Mark. My sister Ellen was there also. Family knows food. We love Lester's. Best thing about my family has going for them is proximity. All 6 kids live within 20 minutes of each other. All my 3 kids live within 12 minutes of each other. I remember when I got the job in 1993 here, and we were looking for houses, and we found one, a good one, off Clarkson at a pretty good price. And my dad drives out, and it took him 25 minutes. He says, Frankie, this is too far. We would never see the baby. So we found a house like 7 minutes away. Never wanted to disappoint Dad. Italians have a lot of flaws. Wanting to be close is not one of them. Finally, congrats to Mark Moser. Really cool night. Saturday at Family Arena, the jersey going to the rafters, the music. Best thing about it was his granddaughter, Rory, as soon as he got off the stage, gave this great speech. He just hugged him, and she said to him, "You did great, Papa." So we'll have the Mark Moser story tonight on KSDK at 10 o'clock. Congratulations to the all-time greatest goal scorer in indoor soccer.
He's just the best as a human being and a great colleague for us here. Would never anything to be able to be there on Saturday night as well. Thank you for reporting in on that, and congratulations to Mark and his entire family. Extremely proud of him. One of the most iconic and most empty buildings in the St. Louis skyline may be getting a second life. Some reporting by both the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and St. Louis Magazine over the weekend. The developer behind that long vacant AT&T tower says he is still determined to turn the 44-story downtown skyscraper into something St. Louis hasn't seen before. He wants it to become a regional destination. Roughly $350 million redevelopment plan calls for converting the former office tower into 600 residential units, plus retail, entertainment, and shared amenities designed to draw people downtown year-round. It's ambitious. Think massive interior spaces repurposed for fitness, recreation, events, full basketball, pickleball courts, eye-catching design elements made to make the building feel welcoming instead of imposing. Of course, the biggest hurdle, not imagination, it is financing. It depends partly on state tax credits for large office to residential conversions. And that legislation that was supporting some of those conversions stalled last year. Now back in Jeff City, we'll see what happens. The developer says he's optimistic about St. Louis, but admits the next year will be crucial. So we have some things we want to hear from you guys on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line. Your favorite and least favorite Super Bowl commercials. What did you guys think? We want to hear that. We're going to be talking to Patrick Risch in just a little while. What do you think about this boat being purchased by the federal government for the St. Louis County Police? And do we think we need to be getting some of the federal disaster dollars more for clearing out the debris from the tornado as well? We'd love to hear from all of you guys on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line. But first, our friends at Altair Travel and Cruises. If you guys have not ever taken one of the group cruises with Altair, I just keep hearing from people over and over and over again, people that I've met before, people that I had not met before, but I bump into that are out and about and said, you gotta tell people that these group cruises and group trips that they do with Altair are fantastic. And I'm talking about things, of course, like the Cardinals going on their spring training trip. Of course, we also have the trips that include the Iceland trip that Heidi is taking coming up this fall, past trips like the wonderful Disney trip, that the short Disney cruise that McGraw helped lead last year. The thing that everybody says about the group cruises is you meet new people, you take your old friends with you, and then on things like the Cardinals cruise, which just happened, people have been going on them for 11 and 12 years. It becomes something that you just love doing year after year after you. Check out on Altair's Facebook page. They have a list of all the current group trips that they have planned right now, everything from a wine trip with Mike Ward, going to the Danube, and the other things that we've mentioned as well. A lot of fun stuff out there. If group travel is something you've been thinking about wanting to check out, Altair Travel and Cruises is the place to start having the conversation. AltairTravel.com, 314-968-9600.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Thinking of buying a new home? Think TR Hughes. TR Hughes Homes has great prices on beautiful new homes at 4 desirable locations. Charlestown Landing in North St. Charles, convenient to Highway 370. The Grove at Riverdale and St. Paul with standard 4-car garages, just 10 minutes from the St. Peter's Deerbergs. Arbor Valley in Wentzville on Highway N with minimum half-acre wooded lots. And our newest community, Elkhorn Ridge in Truesdale, just west of Wright City, minutes from Highway 70. Come and see why TR Hughes is St. Charles and now Warren County's premier home builder. TRHughes.com.
Hey, it's Heidi, and if the new year means a new look for your home, look no further than Dalco Home Remodeling. Let me just tell you, customers could not be happier. If you're looking for new windows, Dalco Home Remodeling has you covered. If you're looking for a new door, they can custom make you a front door. They can do French doors, they can do sliding doors, and they can stain it or paint it to whatever you have going on or whatever new color you want to add. Let me just tell you about some of the happy clients. You've got Alex who said, I had Dalco replace several windows and doors on one of my properties, did a top quality job for me, would definitely recommend. And he's just one of many. You know, Dalco Home Remodeling has been around for more than 50 years. They are family owned and family operated. So if you're ready to get your dream project underway, go to DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. You can also give them a call at 314-298-7300.
Are you prepared to take advantage of all the new changes in the tax law this year? Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group, and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours. This year, we're celebrating 50 years helping area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. I'm also launching my newest book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act made permanent many of the tax rules from the Tax and Jobs Act signed into law in 2017, but also added many new benefits to both businesses and households. My new book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill, outlines the details. Get your copy today at capitaladvisorygrp.com or find it on Amazon.
My name is Dan Head, and I'm the new owner of Patriot Build Sunrooms. We are still a family company with a name trusted by St. Louis for sunrooms for over 40 years. We will continue to proudly serve our loyal customers with beautiful sunrooms, as well as expanded offerings like outdoor fireplaces, outdoor grilling centers, and patio covers. And Patriot Build Sunrooms is proud to support the Backstoppers on KTRS. Give us a call for a free design consultation at 314-822-3232 or online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. Frank and Jill show on a Monday morning. Jill Farmer, Frank Cusimano, Connor McCarthy here as well. We always enjoy learning from our expert political scientist, Anita Mannion, professor at University of Missouri, St. Louis. When we joked when she got into the studio, sorry, we don't have anything to talk about. Nothing happening in the world of politics. This morning, Axios is reporting that this crypto crash that happened last week has been rough on some of President Trump's, eroding some of President Trump's support that he had, for instance, behind those tech bros. Famously, Joe Rogan has been fairly outspoken in the last few weeks, saying, "I'm really not liking the direction that things are going." Latino and Black voters, who he really did a good job in 2024, President Trump did, of recruiting some support there where it had never been before. Many of them saying they're not there with him anymore. Does President Trump have to worry about these shifts in demographics, or is it just the ebb and flow, and he's going to, as long as he holds the course with his base, he's fine?
It is typical for when a president comes into office, they have what we call kind of a honeymoon period that first year, and then their approval ratings do tend to go down and erode. But, with President Trump, he didn't start at the highest, and he has pretty substantially declined. And a lot of the decline is in the areas you're talking about, where he picked up voters he hadn't captured in the past, young voters and voters of color. That's really eroded. And so I think the Republicans are feeling a little nervous that this will be a negative impact in the midterm elections.
Yeah, and let's face it, the incumbent usually loses the midterm, right. But are we looking at a blue wave? There's a sour mood on the economy. You have the ICE situation. I mean, is losing 20 like a best case scenario, and do you think it could get to 40?
Yeah, I don't know that I want to put a specific number on it, but I definitely think that like you said, Frank, usually in the midterm election, the party in power loses seats, and particularly if the president's approval rating is underwater, which President Trump's is. And we've seen some of these sort of special elections really going in the Democrats' favor. The one everyone's paying attention to now is that Texas House seat where it was a Trump district and then they won by double digits.
Yeah, it's amazing. You brought that up. Trump won by 17. Right. Democrats won it by 14. Now, DeSantis is like, some of the Republicans are just not acknowledging what happens. This is pretty significant. I know, it's just only Fort Worth. It's just one little district. Right. But Ron DeSantis is out there saying, we got to take this seriously. And I don't know if enough Republicans are.
I actually just heard some polling of staffers on the Hill today, and they said over 80% say they think the Republicans are 80% of Republicans say the Republicans are in trouble for the midterms.
So the meme that President Trump posted last week that depicted the former President Obama and Michelle Obama in a racist way, it's certainly fired up the opposition a lot. Is something like this relevant to the base or the undecided, or is something like this going to have an impact, even though it's been at the forefront of public dialogue for the last few days, or you think it won't?
Well, I think that eroding support from Black voters, this doesn't help with that going into the midterms. And, we have seen swift condemnation from both parties, with Tim Scott, the only Black Republican senator, coming out and saying this is the most racist thing he's seen from the White House. And, President Trump doesn't often back down and pull things down. And that video was pulled down within, I think, 12 hours. So I think those are all signs that they know that this is very problematic.
So how do they get out of this and avoid losing, say, 40 seats? I mean, the second and third quarter of the economy would be large, and Elon Musk is back with them, so he'll spend a lot of money. But where is what about the convention, the convention he's talking about having?
Yeah, I think that President Trump throws a lot of ideas out there, and they don't all materialize. So I don't know that the convention will materialize. But I think that the president is very aware of this sort of deficit that they're going into. That's why he did the mid-decade redistricting to try to give Republicans advantage. And he has said himself, if the Democrats win, I will be impeached. Now, that doesn't mean he'll be removed from office, but that there will be public hearings and other probes that would be uncomfortable for the president, and it'd be hard for him to forward his agenda. So he has a lot of reasons he doesn't want that to happen. And I would just mention in that video that President Trump posted, really what the focus of that video was, besides the racism that was there, was about the elections, right? And he's still talking about the 2020 elections and how he wants the federal government to intervene in the upcoming elections.
And there's not a lot of public support for that, according to the recent polling I saw. Even among diehard Republicans, they want him to move on from this.
Yeah,
Makes
it's
no sense.
Yeah, why are we rehashing that? But, you know, some people think that he's using that to keep up this idea the elections are rigged and that the federal government needs to step in.
What about like the power of the incumbency with federal spending helping out in key races? I mean, everybody has done it. I wonder if he'll flex his muscle there. Hey, we'll give you this money. Remember us at election time.
Yeah, and I think what you said earlier, Frank, is really the key. It is, President Trump has called affordability, a Democratic hoax, that particular word, but he knows and his team knows that the economy is what is mostly going to influence voters. And so right now we're seeing, big job losses, industries cutting jobs. The stock market's doing well, but that doesn't affect all of, everyday Americans. So I really think the economy is going to be the biggest issue.
Are the Epstein files politically relevant? I know it's certainly, again, it's something that a lot of people in the media are talking about. Are they just confirming negative feelings for the opposition, or do you think they're going to ultimately impact the president's ability to be successful in these midterms?
Yeah, it is one of the first areas we really saw some pushback from his base when he was hesitant to release those files. So I think it is an issue that is important to a lot of Trump supporters. And a lot of Americans. I think it's like 75% of Americans say they want the full files released. But we haven't seen sort of the fallout here in the U.S. like we've seen in the UK. Prince Andrew being stripped of royal titles, political appointees, and the prime minister being in hot water. Here, it's more like reputational damage. And we're seeing that from Bill Clinton to Bill Gates to Elon Musk to one of President Trump's cabinet secretaries, Howard Lutnick, that when you've said public statements and then what's in the files disputes those, I think that is problematic.
Well, the administration definitely blew this. I mean, the way most people feel, you can't promise what Pam Bondi had been saying and then just under-deliver like this, right?
Yeah. And so one tactic that's being used is the Clintons have been put under congressional subpoena to testify about this. So they are going to go in and be deposed. They said they want to testify publicly, but it will be a closed-door deposition. But you aren't seeing folks like Elon Musk or President Trump being called. And this is the first time we've seen a former president called in like this.
So if the Democrats, in terms of strategy, one of the things that they have tried that didn't work, I mean, it worked okay, I guess, when Joe Biden beat President Trump. But the only strategy was, well, at least we're not President Trump, and look at all the terrible things he did. I doubt whether they can be successful doing that alone again. What do you think is possibly changing in terms of Democratic strategy, or do you think it will?
I agree with you. They need to have what are they going to do for the American people, just not what are they not going to do, right? And so I think with the last government shutdown, they tried to embrace healthcare as an issue. That was successful for them in 2018 midterms. I think now, they're looking at things like ICE and the constitutional standing of what some of the ICE agents are doing. And so I do think that they need to, though, get clear messaging, particularly on the economy, if they want to really thrive in the midterms.
One final thought before we let you go. County executive race, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's interesting. Anytime you have an open seat, you're going to get a lot of competition. So Brian Williams and now Jake Zimmerman, who I think are both strong candidates. They both have experience. So far, we're not seeing a lot of nastiness in the Democratic primary. I think it will be interesting to have some debates and really see what the two candidates have to offer on the Democratic side. I think sometimes Brian Williams might have a little more charisma, but, then Zimmerman is trying to phrase it as like, we've had enough drama in city politics, county politics. We need someone who's just going to come in and get the job done.
Good stuff.
Always great to have you. Anita Mannion, political scientist from University of Missouri, St. Louis. Thanks for taking the time to come in and be with us this morning.
Glad to be here.
Jeff Zufall, senior tax strategist, wealth advisor at Capital Advisory Group, and author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, host of Keep What's Yours Saturday at 3 right here at KTRS. Tax season is upon us, and he says it's time to get ready. He's written a new, soon-to-be-released book called Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill Era. And, of course, for 50 years, Capital Advisory Group has helped hundreds of area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying on their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, let Jeff Zufall and his team help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax law. You can reach out to him today, 636-394-5524, online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Get your reservations in now for Bishop's Post. Bishop's Post. They have the best version of your classic favorites. Located in Chesterfield, Bishop's Post is the perfect spot for that celebration.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers. The #1 wiper blades in America.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just 1 shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
John Carney, Julie Buck, weekdays at noon on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
How do you separate estate planning from elder law? You don't, because they're so intertwined. Let's face it, we're all getting older, and you need to make these decisions today, whether it's for your parents, for yourself, or for future generations. Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Caroline Stolzer have been navigating these important decisions for more than 50 years. Beck, Lennox, Stolzer, estate planning, and elder law. Call them, 636-946-7899 or beckelderlaw.com. You can thank me later.
Hey, St. Louis. Eddie McVeigh here from Maggie O'Brien's, reminding everyone that I'm looking forward to seeing you at one of our 2 locations. Whether it be for lunch, happy hour, dinner, or late night, Maggie's is the place to be. Don't forget to catch our shuttle to all the major events downtown. And if you need a banquet room, small or large, for that special occasion, please give us a call at Maggie O'Brien's. Maggie O'Brien's 2 locations on South Lindbergh and Sunset Hills and downtown at the corner of Market and 20th Street. Union Station is next to us.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Michael's Baths. His name is Michael, and he'll redo your bath. From tubs to shower conversions to full bathroom remodels, including paint and electrical, they do it all at Michael's Baths. Michael's Baths uses products like Centrel and Moen, backed by lifetime warranties to make sure your bathroom is done right. They specialize in ADA accessible showers and tubs, everything from grab bars to safety features and no gimmicks. Now offering a new, even higher-end wall option designed to bring a custom spa-like look to your home. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. He is the director of the Olin Sports Business Program at Washington University. He is Dr. Patrick Risch, and we wanted to get his take on some Super Bowl commercials. I know he's a fanatical sports fan also. So right off the bat, you turn off the TV. If you had to vote best commercial you saw, what would it be from your end?
Well, I'm partial, Frank. I like the Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Lots of, of course, celebrities, AI, the like. That's kind of the theme now, leaning into tech, trying to stay away from controversy. That's kind of the general theme with most of these ads. But I like the Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Very fun. Let's talk about bang for your buck. What were folks spending this year to get in front of our eyes on the Super Bowl, Patrick, and what kind of return are they hoping to see on those investments?
Well, yeah, I mean, the average cost of a commercial this year was $8 million, and that was just for the ad time, for the airtime, let alone actually creating the commercial.
Wow.
I think the most expensive 30-second windows last night were going for as high as I saw $10 million. So again, when you factor in that the cost of actually making the commercial is in some cases 50% of that, then some of those commercials all in were somewhere between 12 and 15 million. Now, of course, there is no other event in the world that has the visibility and exposure of a Super Bowl. So you are clearly doing it to raise profile, stay in the consciousness of consumers. And, again, it's always difficult for the more established brands to measure that because they're already out there. But it's the little avocados from Mexico. That's a good example of one that's kind of been a upstart the last few years, and they have certainly seen a spike in their visibility and their sales because they made the big investment to go on the big stage and because their commercials are fun.
The Goodwill Dunkin', somebody texted in and said it was AI. It wasn't AI. They were actually in the commercial, right? These famous actors. Let me read it one more time. Ted Danson, Jason Alexander, Matt LeBlanc, Jennifer Aniston, Ben Affleck, and Tom Brady.
Well, they were, but if you look at some of the faces, they looked awfully young, Frank. So I have a feeling there was a little bit of AI infused into that article.
Oh, okay,
into
gotcha.
That commercial.
How did they afford all those people in one commercial? I mean, think about Jill when she goes to do a speech. It's like $400,000. I mean, these guys
500.
500. How can they afford to pay all these guys for one little commercial? It's crazy.
There's a lot of donut eaters in this world, Frank.
I liked the Lay's potato chip one, the emotional one with the father and the daughter. I thought that was the coolest.
Yeah, and of course, even with you always can count on the Clydesdales creating a little bit of nice emotion as well with their bit. Again, look at all these different things. Mr. Beast, when are we going to get rid of this guy? Frank, I have ties to Charlotte. And Mr. Beast used to be their jersey patch partner, which shows you how low the Hornets stooped to, that they would have this guy. And he was doing a commercial with Salesforce. So you got to love Bon Jovi in the State Farm commercial. I think that was really well done. And, of course, McConaughey giving it to Bradley Cooper, that was pretty funny in an Uber Eats commercial.
Yeah, and our own St. Louis's own Andy Cohen in the Nerds commercial was pretty delightful, I think, in a lot of ways as well. If you're just joining us, Patrick Risch, of course, is he is an expert on the business of sports. It had to be pretty ideal conditions in terms of the number of people watching the game this year because you have two major markets, right? Because the years when it's like Green Bay and, a small market or Kansas City, it's presumed that not as many people nationally will watch it. But we had two big markets, Seattle and, of course, Boston. And we've got the Olympics going on with a lot of people's eyes sort of on NBC and on sports right now. Do you think that created conditions where we're going to have some record numbers watching this year?
Well, I think that the Olympics actually was a bigger boost in this particular incident than the actual matchup itself. I think that there was a concern that the matchup might be a defensive battle, and as the game is going on, of course, it certainly wasn't the most exciting game. All kudos, by the way, to the Seahawks, and I've got to shout out Alina Shenik, a WashU alumnus, who works in business intelligence for the Seattle Seahawks. She is now a world champion, so congratulations to that WashU alum. But I think that was the bigger boost, is the Olympics, and I can only imagine what their ratings for the Olympic late-night coverage was for NBC. What is really amazing is ESPN did not waste a minute promoting Super Bowl 61 because they will be airing the big game next year, and it's in Los Angeles. I hate to say it, who's building, but that is going to be something that already, like last night, the Scott Van Pelt show, this morning on Get Up with Mike Greenberg, everybody is leading in. They're actually doing their shows from SoFi. So, it was obviously a great opportunity for NBC to boost their ratings.
Does the Super Bowl, when you have a game like this, it doesn't matter market size, right? I mean, even if Green Bay is this tiny market, it's the freaking Super Bowl, and it would like the Packers. Or I'm trying to think of another real small market team. Isn't this a game where it just transcends market size?
I will say this, Frank, that again, at the risk of upsetting St. Louisans who don't want to hear anything positive related to the Rams, I would say that the Rams probably would have yielded a larger number just because, they've kind of been around the block. They had won the Super Bowl just a few years ago, the Matthew Stafford being the MVP, but also just being an electric team that's a high-scoring team. That does matter, and fans are aware of that. Seattle, great market. If I were a franchise owner, and by the way, get a load of this, y'all, this could be a historic year because remember, reports before the big game in the last week or so have the Seahawks potentially going on the market. This could be the first Super Bowl champion whose franchise is sold the year that they've won the Super Bowl. And this goes back to the Allen estate. The NFL doesn't want an estate to own a team. That has to be an individual person. And this is something that has kind of gone on and waned on for the last 5 or 6 years, and I think they're starting to exert some influence to get Paul Allen's sister to sell the team. So that could be happening as early as this year, and winning a championship certainly doesn't hurt your franchise value.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the number because last year was 127 million, but you have two teams that are not loaded with stars like, for instance, the Rams would be. And then B had a really bad game for most of the game. So I wonder if we actually have a drop in the ratings, or it's just the NFL just such a juggernaut it doesn't matter, and they're just going to keep going up and up every year.
We're not going to see records broke. I don't believe we're not going to see records broke. But again, as you say, it's going to be a strong number, and advertisers, NBC, all of them, they're certainly not going to be disappointed. The other thing I'll mention real briefly is there are more companies now that measure the amplified impact of social digital media. So you think about the highlights of the game that are replaying today, that were replaying last night, that will be replayed this week. And companies, there's AI technology that can measure. Let's take Duncan. Every time Duncan is shown, or every time Levy Stadium, my gosh, look at all the free press they get from all the exposure that their company name gets for the stadium being the host of the Super Bowl. SoFi will be no different next year.
Final thought. Could the NFL ever become as global like soccer?
Well, they're trying. And quite frankly, Frank, that's part of the reason why Bad Bunny sang the entire halftime show in Spanish. They're trying to further reach that audience because the NFL knows that the Hispanic Latino audience for their sport is growing, and they know that that audience and population in this country is growing. We see that the NFL continues to play games in new places. They're playing the 49ers and Rams are in Australia, I think, to open up the next season. So we actually have another alum, Sonny Mehta, is in international marketing at the NFL headquarters in New York. And this is part of his job, is to kind of help elevate the game internationally. I do think you could see a Super Bowl one day in London, for example. I do think that day could come. Yet at the same time, Frank, there's a lot of places where New Orleans, as good of a host as it's been all these years, the game may have outgrown it. I know last year there was a lot of grumblings that maybe the game got too big for New Orleans, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Good stuff, Dr. Risch. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Patrick Risch, Washington U. We'll take a break. When we come back, Success St. Louis style, Margie Emo in the house.
Way back in time, if you had a leak in the roof of your hut, I imagine you had to find a tree close by, scale it, and then jump and hope you could get up there and see what was wrong. Then came the advent of the ladder. There was an easier way to get up there and see if something was wrong. And with modern technology, we finally get around to the drone. Now, the folks at Allen Roofing use those instead of trees and ladders. Send a drone up, find out if there's anything wrong with your roof, get some pictures, go over it with you, and see if there's a problem, how bad it is, what they could do, what it'll cost, or if everything's just fine, they will tell you that too. Boy, it's so nice we don't have to climb trees to look at our hut. Allen Roofing, embracing technology and doing quality roof repair, siding, gutters, everything for the outside of your home. Just ask Gronk. He was one of the first customers. It's Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
News, weather, traffic, sports, and live local talk. This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Ladue, Glen Carbon, University City, Edwardsville, Manchester, Wood River, Grafton, Collinsville, Pacific, and the world.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Depend on it.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Convicted sex trafficker and former partner of Jeffrey Epstein virtually appeared for testimony in the Epstein sex abuse case. Ghislaine Maxwell exercised her right not to speak in a brief deposition before the House Oversight Committee.
The witness appeared remotely from her prison camp in Texas. She didn't offer any testimony.
Obviously, it's very disappointing. We had many questions to ask about the crimes she and Epstein committed.
House Oversight Chairman James Comer says Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney told the panel she would have provided testimony if she'd been granted clemency by President Trump. Comer said it's his view she's not worthy. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
There are more high-profile names emerging from the Epstein files after the Justice Department released its latest trove of records, including Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. ABC's Jay O'Brien asking committee chair James Comer if Lutnick should expect a subpoena.
We've got a lot of very important people we're trying to bring in to answer questions. We don't want to do anything to jeopardize the 5 that we have on the books.
There are growing calls for Lutnick to resign. In Arizona, the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie now in its second week. Police say the mother of Today host Savannah Guthrie was kidnapped from her Tucson home. Authorities spending and along with the FBI have spent the past week gathering evidence and chasing leads. Retired FBI agent and ABC News contributor Brad Garrett.
Have they missed a piece of information, something basic like a car or a phone number that now matches something else? The big problem with these cases is the amount of data you get. A large chunk of it is not worth anything, but some of it could be connected.
The Guthrie family released another video over the weekend responding to a note sent to media outlets, publicly stating they would pay for their mother's safe return. And redemption in California this weekend for the Seattle Seahawks, beating the New England Patriots last night in the rematch of the Super Bowl rivals. You're listening to ABC News.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. A man is dead after being struck by a car in North St. Louis County. Police say the 31-year-old victim was standing in a traffic lane along Keeneland Avenue near Wabada on Saturday morning when he was struck by a passing motorist. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the 22-year-old driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with the investigation. The victim's name has not yet been released. Demolition began today for 6 Florissant homes contaminated by radiation from Coldwater Creek. The story from KTRS's Jill Enders.
The homes are located along Cades Cove Drive in Florissant. The demolition is being overseen by the Army Corps of Engineers, which calls this a critical step for cleanup efforts in the area. The demolition is expected to take about a month. This will be followed by full remediation of the contaminated soil, and that's expected to take less than a year to complete. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Renovations are underway at Keener Plaza. The renovations include new shade structures, and the oval lawn will be regraded and leveled. Keener Plaza will remain open during the renovations, but certain areas will temporarily close. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll Florist wants to help you show your loved one you care this Valentine's Day with hand-delivered flowers. Send a sweet surprise with one of their head-turning arrangements or gift sets. They have wonderful selections ready to say I love you this Valentine's Day and every day. Trust Walter Knoll Florist to deliver your Valentine's Day gift. Go to WKF.com. The City of St. Charles is considering a permanent ban on large data centers. The city's Planning and Zoning Commission will address the issue at tonight's meeting. The proposal comes as city leaders voice concerns such as consumption of water and electricity and noise levels. St. Charles began a one-year moratorium on data centers 6 months ago. If the commission approves the proposal at tonight's meeting, the St. Charles City Council will hear the matter in March. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings, 9 to 11. Wall Street right now, Dow Jones is up 28 points to 50,143. NASDAQ is up 270 points to 23,300. And the S&P 500 up 46 points to 6,978. KTRS Sports with the Seahawks' 29-13 victory in the Super Bowl. Former Mizzou quarterback Drew Lock becomes the third Mizzou quarterback to win a title as a backup. Lock joins Chase Daniel, who won as a backup with the Saints in 2010, and Blaine Gabbert, who won the Super Bowl as a backup to Tom Brady with the Buccaneers in 2021. And St. Louis City SC defeated Austin 1-0 in the first Coachella exhibition match. Next up, City takes on their old friend Klaus and the LA Galaxy on Wednesday. KTRS weather. Today, sunny, high of 57. Tonight, clear, overnight low of 37. Tomorrow, sunny again, a little warmer, high of 59. Right now, 42 degrees. The time is 11:05. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
And now it's time for Success St. Louis Style, brought to you by the St. Louis Chess Club, building champions in the classroom and the community. Online at stlouischessclub.org.
And welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. This is our Success St. Louis Style segment. We're delighted to have in studio Margie Emo, and you talk about success. 61 years ago, she and Ed were young parents. They're looking to buy a home and build a future. And at the time, keep in mind, there were no delivery pizza places in St. Louis. They come up with the idea and the great pizza, and presto, here we are. Congratulations. Welcome to the program. How are you today?
Thank you, Frank. I'm just fine. It's nice to be here.
Well, it's an honor for us. So give me an idea about when you decided to come up with this idea and maybe the opposition. Oh, this is a bad idea that you may have gotten initially from some.
Okay. Initially, the family was not in favor of that at all. Eddie had a job. He was a union tile setter's helper. And when we said that we thought maybe we'd like to go in business, Eddie's mother would say, "What's the matter with you? You've got a good job, you know." But that we really wanted to do something. Eddie was always ambitious. He wanted to do something. And so we didn't know, we weren't well educated. We didn't have an idea. And but then we started thinking about, well, maybe we'll try to do something with food. And we would, in the evenings on Fridays, I'd get paid. We'd sit and watch television and say, wouldn't it be nice to have a pizza? Yeah, so we call Pagliacci's or one of the neighborhood restaurants. There were no pizza places at that time. It was restaurants. And Eddie would go out at 11:30 because we were Catholic and we didn't eat meat on Fridays. And so we wait until midnight, and then Eddie'd bring the pizza home. And we'd say, wouldn't it be nice if somebody'd bring it to us instead of having to get up off the couch? And so we thought, well, maybe we'll try that. And we had no restaurant experience. We did have friends who worked in restaurants. And Eddie called one of them and said, I want to open a pizza place and just sell pizzas. And they said, no, you're crazy, you know. And he said, no, we want to deliver them. And they said, it was funny because Charlie Gito, he had Gito's restaurant. And he said, you'll never make a living delivering pizzas, Ed. And he was so sweet. And years later, he came to us and he said, remember, Ed, I'm the one that told you you'll never make a living delivering pizzas. Very tongue-in-cheek. He's a great guy. And so we did open a small store on Thurman and Shaw, and we bought used equipment. And because we really had no money, we actually started the business with $1,500 that we had saved, that, you know, it's funny, years later, people have interviewed me and said, well, what was your business plan? What did your banker say? And There was no business plan. There was no banker. We had $1,500. We'd been married for 4 years, and we managed to save that. And
98 stores later, I think it turned out.
It turned out just fine. And we're very happy. We've been fortunate. I think we developed a good product, and Ed was always consistently would say, we need to always put out a good product at a reasonable price, and it's got to be good, and the customers have to be happy. And
I love your origin story. It's fascinating. It's inspiring. It's fabulous. And is it true that when early on when you first met Ed, they were pronouncing their last name Imo?
Yes.
And so what led to the change?
Ed was pronouncing his name Imo.
Okay.
His brother was Johnny Emo. His mother was Lena Emo, and for some reason, Eddie was always Eddie Imo. And when we opened our first store, we would answer the phone, hello, it's Imo's Pizza. And various people would say, aren't you Emo's Pizza? And it went back and forth and back and forth. And finally we decided, well, we better decide on being Emo's. And years later, our first marketing guy, Ed Musin, one of our first commercials that we ever had was, is it Emos or Imos? Who knows? And that was very successful. People talked about us then. Yeah.
What about, was there a time where you knew, hey, we've made it? Like along the journey, it wasn't just open up a store. You thought, wait a minute, this thing is exploding. And what was that like?
Oh, it was fun. We opened our first store, and I'd say we had good friends, the Strattons, and he was a carpenter. Eddie had been a tile setter, and Ed quit his job. And our friend Benny, he said, "You're able to quit your job? I want to come down and see about that." So he and his wife Stell came, and they started hanging out with us and seeing what we were doing. And he said, "I think I want to do it." So we opened a store for him on 3210 California, and he and his wife started. So Ed financed it. We set it up, and then so Benny was our first partner. And he, over the year, a couple of years, he paid us back, and then we just sold this, gave him the store. And then someone else wanted to open a store. In fact, one of them was Ed's uncle, Toots Pisani. And we opened that store at 4780 South Spring. And then people started saying, "Oh, I'd like to do that," And so we opened a store on Hampton. And then we had a relative who wanted a store on Big Bend. And then, we kind of started running out of relatives. And then we started going to friends. And we had a friend, Joe Fergali, and we opened a store with him on Hampton. That store's still there, 1000 Hampton, overlooking the zoo. We used to say by the arena that isn't there anymore.
Right. By the new Channel 5. We ordered pizza from there last night.
And we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And I certainly, when it was Channel 2 was right there, it funded many of our color lawyer nights.
Yes, we would, Channel 2 would always come over on the snowy days and ask us about delivery and everything. Yeah, we like that.
How about the red sauce? Since Ed was a tile setter, how did you come up with this distinctive, very tasty red sauce?
Well, it was funny, if you believe it, Frank. The night before we opened, we put a sauce together. I'm not kidding you. When you talk about people who had no idea what they were doing, that was Ed and I. We really didn't know what we were doing. And well, a friend of ours said, "Well, I like to cook, so it wasn't totally foreign for me to be making something." And then one of our friends from the restaurant said, "Oh, do this, do that," and we just kind of threw it together. And then I wrote it down, and that's the sauce we're still using, although in much bigger quantities.
Texter would like to know when you got the idea to put bacon on regular
from the
bacon.
beginning.
That was from the very beginning.
Yeah. In the beginning, we had a frying pan on the stove, and we would we would do it like that. It's very different now.
Salad dressing, which is also really good, sold all over. Who came up with that one?
That was Ed. He developed that recipe, and that's been very good. It's very popular.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
If you're just joining us, Margie Emo is here. It's our Success St. Louis segment. And one of the things we like to ask our guests in this segment is, how do you define success? What does success mean to you as an individual?
Well, that's an interesting question, Jill. I think if you are able to start a business, have people happy with your product, and you enjoy what you're doing, and you make a few dollars along the way, I think that's success. And I think it's 61 years we've been in business now, and I think we've managed to maintain a good reputation. We never wanted to have anybody say, "Oh, Ed wasn't fair to me" or something. Ed was always fair.
Integrity mattered.
Yes, integrity absolutely mattered. It matters, and I think that's so important. That people will speak well of you.
Yes. When did you come up with the idea of being able to sell the pizza to people in other states? I remember when my youngest went to Indiana State to go play baseball, what we did is we stocked him up, or we sent him a bunch of emo stuff to make him feel at home. And now so many St. Louisans who don't live here actually get the stuff flown to them. John Hamm, who I had on TV about a year ago, he talked about it.
Yes.
We know Jason Tatum's love for it. I mean, the love by St. Louis celebrities is just incredible for emos.
Yes.
When did you come up with the idea, though, to sell it, nationwide?
Well, we had requests for that for many years, and to expand, to make frozen pizza and expand. We never really wanted to do that. We have always just wanted to concentrate on the St. Louis area, but we get so many requests, so we started just first just selling the ingredients, and then it just got so popular. It was demand that did it, And now we ship with Gold Belly, so people can just call Gold Belly and have it shipped to them, and.
Yeah, it's very fun. I want to read a text from the Royal Banks of Missouri text line here. Mrs. Emo, we Southsiders and grads of DeBerg, thank you for employing so many of us through the years and supporting all of us kids for all of those years.
Oh, well, how sweet is that?
Isn't that fun?
We've been so fortunate we've met so many wonderful people and employed so many wonderful people, and that's been the pleasure. I think one of the best things about being in business is the people you meet. I mean, just now, I know Frank Guzmano, I know Joe Farmer, and it's a pleasure. It's just a pleasure to meet people.
And you have 6 kids, 14 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, and 12 of the kids are involved. So this is going to keep going and staying in the family. How about your involvement right now in it? What are you doing?
Well, I'm here today talking to you. That's about it. I can't. I occasionally go to meetings or things. I serve on the board, of course, but physically, no, I don't work anymore. I'm 83 years old. I don't work, and neither does Ed.
You've endured, and you have certainly earned enjoying time with all those amazing kids, grandkids, and great grandkids. Before we let you go, I am dying to know, because Frank and I made the presumption, Super Bowl must be your biggest day, with all and you said no. It's evolving. Bad weather, bad for the rest of us, very good for emos.
Good for us.
Yes, 314 day is a huge pizza day these days.
Yes, that was relatively new, and it's been wonderful. It's a new holiday. And the night before Thanksgiving is always big.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
And we do have to mention you have a new pizza. You continue to evolve, the Honey Trap Pizza. Tell me about that.
Yes, it's wonderful. Some of our very innovative people that work for us came up with the idea for the Honey Trap Pizza, and it's really delicious. It's I was kind of reluctant at first. Oh, it's kind of getting away from the traditional emos, but traditional emos is still there, and this is just something new, and we hope people try it because it's really delicious.
A ton more text, but I just want to highlight a couple of them. Simone Biles loves emos.
Yes, she does.
We had Super Bowl last night. The Bridgeton location kills it. It was fabulous. We love Nick Emo with the Central West End. And I take my Emo's Pizza and my carry-on to Seattle and Phoenix every time. Freeze it first, wrap it in foil. Perfect when I arrive to see my family.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Well, it's such an honor to have you in. You're the definition of success St. Louis style. Margie, thanks so much.
My pleasure, Frank.
All right, we'll take a short time out. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have two locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Sure, AAA are the folks who can get you back on the road when you have a flat tire. They can also provide quality and affordable home and auto insurance. But when you think of AAA, think of this too, AAA Travel. Hi, it's Julie Buck, and AAA Travel is ready to plan your next trip or vacation. And you don't have to be a member to enjoy their services. Of course, membership does have its privileges. To find a AAA advisor near you, just visit AAA.com/travel. Remember, the internet is for looking. AAA.com/travel is for booking.
At Tropical World Pets, you're not just getting a pet, you're diving into an extraordinary experience. Located in Webster Groves, they boast St. Louis's largest selection of freshwater fish and aquatic plants, a stunning tank showroom, and the Midwest's most extensive tarantula collection. From crested geckos to bearded dragons, they offer the area's best captive-bred reptiles. Visit them and feel the tropical difference. Tropical World Pets. Explore more by calling 314-849-4020 or at twpstl.com. That's twpstl.com.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
The University of Missouri St. Louis offers academic programs at the undergraduate, graduate, doctoral, and professional levels to fit any passion, purpose, and schedule. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
The Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation?
Missy Mo.
Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11.
Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town.
Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better choice, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online and see their entire inventory online at bommarito.com.
Want a song?
You're on my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show in an effort to just really be as diligent as we can and do all of our research, bring you the latest information. Frank and I have sampled the new hot honey and pepperoni pizza from Emo's, and it is, I would declare it absolutely delicious.
Yes.
What would you say?
It's got some bite, and it's very tasty. It's really good. Yep.
Yeah, it's the two things that make it a little different than traditional Emo's pizza. The pepperoni is this tiny little cup pepperoni on top of the cheese. That's new. And then the hot honey drizzled inside of it. Very good. You've had a chance to try it twice now, Connor.
I know. We're getting it like once a week at this point.
And still loving it both times?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
It is. Thumbs up from the entire staff of the Frank and Jill Show on the new hot honey trap pizza from Emo's. Very fun, and that was a really fun conversation with Margie Emo. She's so down to earth and just really a humble person, and it's just fabulous what they've built.
I just can't imagine while it was happening, this couple that not wealthy come up with this idea. It's never been done before. Delivery to your home for pizza, and then just watching it explode before their very eyes, and the amount of money coming in, the amount of stores opening up. I mean, gosh, that's like a movie, but it actually happened to this humble couple. All you need, as I used to say, or I always tell my kids, is one idea. And man, did they have an idea.
And they solved a problem, right? You know, they solved a problem they had, and then it became a problem they solved for a lot of other people who wanted to be home and relaxing on a Friday night and wanted the pizza delivered to their door, and it was a great idea.
So 314 Day is their #1 day.
Isn't that funny?
Surprised me. I thought it would definitely be the Super Bowl.
And and night before Thanksgiving, but that's so true. When everybody comes home to St. Louis, my kids too, everybody. Your kids when they came home from college, everybody wants to have Emo's. It's just like such a traditional St. Louis thing for sure. So are you all ready for Valentine's Day? You've got your gift spot. You've got the cards already written. You've written the poems, the flowers.
I think he's going to be running out like the day of, picking up some flowers or something.
Yeah, we'll fool around a little bit. That's all.
Oh, really? No presents, no gratitude needed.
That's romance right there.
Evening planned Friday.
I love you. Really do talk the big talk when Monique is out of town. Really, when you know there's no chance that you're gonna get any of those texts. You're like, what in the heck are you talking about? So I noticed how bold you get. Well, it is Valentine's Day coming up on Saturday. Lots of you hopefully getting your orders in over at Walter Knoll Florist. But we thought for this week it would be fun. And I've been researching over the entire weekend. I was researching multiple lists from everybody from Rolling Stone magazine to Billboard magazine to articles with some famous musicians and places like People magazine of what are the top 5 love songs of all time. So here's the list that I found where it was the greatest amount of crossover from multiple sources. Number 5, you're going to know it, from none other than Elvis Presley. It's a great one.
Yeah, it's beautiful. What a voice.
It really is. And it just kind of warms your hearts, gives you some goosebumps, all of the things. Somebody who you loved the show, you loved her as an actor. We've talked about her in the past, no longer with us. Mary Tyler Moore. Ran across a really interesting interview with her where she talked about getting to know one of the greatest comedic actors of all time. I can imagine that if Lucille Ball came up and said,
Yeah.
"You're very good," that would be like the GOAT telling you, "I see you, and you're equal to me."
Pretty good, like superstar to superstar. It's like DiMaggio and Mantle, Montana Young. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is really, really neat. I love the way she told the story. It makes you appreciate, by the way, her just beautiful voice. Gosh, she's just Mary Tyler Moore at her best. There was nobody better.
Yeah, there was something. You talk about down to earth, right? I don't know how she managed to do it, but whether you saw her in an interview or whether you saw her, there was just something about her that made us all feel like we either knew her or wanted to know her. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I saw the documentary on her. She did live a little bit of a difficult life. For when you think the exterior, this incredible success, this beautiful woman, but she went through a lot of heartache. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Best romantic love songs. Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers.
Well, and that essentially was Unchained Melody.
That was?
Well,
there's some crossover in it, but yeah, you'll have to give me what your recommendations would be, because we'll be doing it this entire week. See if they line
I Will
up
Always
with
Love You, Whitney Houston.
I think the theme from Ice Castles, which was otherwise known as the first dance at Frank and Monique Cusimano's
Brings back
wedding.
bad memories. No, Endless Love. Diana Ross, Lionel Richie.
All you're doing is taking away some glory from some of our future choices this week.
Yeah, but I did tell you that Monique illegally came home from, not illegally, but she didn't tell her parents she was coming home one weekend, and picked her up at the airport
From college.
Yeah.
Yeah, John and I did that too. It's like, let's not ask permission when we just want to kind of get together.
Yeah, we got a Ferracci's pizza and went to Northwest Plaza and watched the movie Endless Love. So, by the way, this is my Valentine's Day. We're going, and I did not choose this, ABBA Candlelight Concert.
Fun.
Have you heard of that somewhere?
So it's an ABBA tribute band?
Yes, I guess that's it.
That's fun. Have you ever been to Stockholm?
No.
They have an ABBA museum in Stockholm, and it is a blast. It's very interactive. You can get up on screen. It's really, really
I like
good.
how you have to always couch it. It wasn't my decision.
Well, it's just like...
It's not where I wanted to go.
Like Barry Manilow, I didn't want to go.
He went more than once.
Exactly.
But the thing is, and I can give you example after example. Jersey Boys this summer, The Outsiders, like you're being drugged with, under great duress to go to these fabulous musical productions, and then every time you're like a kid when you get done. You're like, this was amazing, and this was so good. And
she dragged me to David Cassidy. It's just like, no man can say, well, it was my idea, but they go and it's actually good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying. I've watched the pattern play out over and over and over
Well,
again.
I mean, think of all the things you've probably dragged her to. Like, oh, Monique, we have to go watch Vianney play basketball.
She won't go.
She just won't
The difference is I go. But she has become a devout Billiken fan. So I will say that.
Yes, of course she is. It's the we can't say the greatest show on turf, but it's
Best
the
show in town.
Best show in town is for sure. Speaking of best in show, our friends over at McKnight Place Assisted Living and Memory Care do an excellent job at all aspects of the senior living journey. So whether it's the Gatesworth community, McKnight Place, or Park Provence, which of course are all part of the Gatesworth communities for senior living, they just do a fabulous job at meeting St. Louis families where they are. And not just St. Louis families. I'm hearing more and more from people who are moving in from not only around the region, even around the country, because the reputation is so good, particularly at Park Provence, where they have just taken the care for seniors with memory issues to the top of the game, particularly from a nationwide perspective, using Washington University's School of Medicine Director of Clinical Services, David Carr, as somebody who leads the way. So wherever you are on the spectrum of just being ready to switch things up a little bit and meet new people and still doing all the things in life you want to do, so you need fully independent senior living, or whether you are ready, somebody in your life is ready for a lot more care and support, start the conversation today. McKnight Place Assisted Living and Memory Care, featuring excellent care and luxury accommodations for active seniors. McKnightPlace.com, 314-993-3333.
Attention KTRS listeners, Appliance Discounters has a deal for you. Shop now and receive an instant 5% rebate off your next appliance purchase. 5% instant savings off their already low prices. And you can receive other factory rebates, some up to $1,500 direct from the manufacturer. Huge savings, locally owned, next day delivery, 18 months interest-free financing. Appliance Discounters with 6 area locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watched Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home, and that includes red flags. And through all of it, she is calm, cool, and kind. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just have a question, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684, or go to laurenrisleyrealty.com.
Hello, I'm Forrest Mayor Tim Lowry. We are 52,000 strong, and we are the largest municipality in St. Louis County. The City of Florissant is proud to once again be a co-sponsor with the Big 550 KTRS for the Backstoppers Radiothon. I come from a law enforcement family and have worked my way through the ranks to the position of Chief of Police before becoming mayor. I know how important the Backstoppers are to our community and all the wonderful things that they do for the families of our fallen heroes. Again, the City of Florissant is proud to support this year's Backstoppers Radiothon, and thank you for all you do. We are Florissant Strong. Be safe and stay healthy.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Story Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Story Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Story in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Get your season tickets now for the 2026 Stages St. Louis. The 2026 season is kicked off with the always hilarious 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call today to reserve your groups, individual, or season tickets. 314-821-2407. Or visit them online at stagesstlouis.org. That's stagesstlouis.org.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
Heidi Klaus, Josh Gilbert, and Bob Ramsey. Weekday afternoons at 3 on the Big 550.
Always current and always on.
KTRS.
A couple of chord progressions are the same, but not quite exactly the same as Elvis Presley.
It's the exact same. I'm not sure what we're listening to.
It's similar. It's similar. I'll give you that for sure. Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show. Lots of fun texts on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line. We didn't mention it yet, Frank, but a number of our texters did say their fave Super Bowl commercial was definitely the Clydesdales, as is every
Did
year.
that air in the second half? Or I don't remember when it aired. I took notes, 4 pages of notes on the first half, and I didn't take as copious notes in the second. Did you know?
You took notes on the commercials, or
commercials, and then just game thoughts. Let me see here.
Yeah. And
no,
then
I felt bad for the people buying. I felt this way last year, I guess too. It wasn't close, but it's just the fourth quarter commercials. It's like you think, oh, this is going to be great if it's close. No one will be leaving the screen at all. But it's like when it's not close, it's just
Yeah.
Where's anyone even watching them?
It's a real gamble.
Yeah, and we ran out of time, but that was going to be my next question for Patrick Risch is how much more do you pay early on in the show when even people who there's a lot of people at Super Bowl parties that don't care that much about football, and so even if it's a good game year, there's a fair number of people that aren't paying attention as the further the game goes along in general. So if I'm in marketing and advertising, it's just all about like how do I get the most eyes on my product.
This is not the reason why I left my Super Bowl party in 20 minutes, but a couple of my buddies got the biggest kick out of this. Somebody said at the party that I was there, said, "Hey, you ought to do a live shot here at Channel 5, tonight." And this woman walks by. She was like 60, so probably in my demo, and she says, "Oh, do you work at Channel 5?" And my friend just got the biggest kick out of it, and they've been texting me all day. Do you work at Channel 5? Do you work at Channel 5? So it's great.
Yep, that's just how. It's according to my friends who are in TV news today. It's you never know whether somebody is going to accost you like you're the second coming of the most popular person in the world, or whether they're going to say, "That's weird. I watch it every night. I have no idea who you are."
Yeah, here's the thing: if they were 30 and they said that, you'd expect it. But when they're 60 and they've been there for a long time, yeah, because I know no 30-year-old would ever watch. So.
Yeah, for sure. From the 314, we're getting all kinds of different opinions about things. Terrible Super Bowl. Bad Bunny was mid, but better than Kid Rock, but that doesn't take much. Some of you weighing in on the idea of this $400,000 boat from St. Louis County that got approval in about 30 days from the federal government when we still have so much of the promised tornado money. By the way, this is not money. This was all promised by the federal government, still waiting. Jill from the 636. I can tell you as a fact, the delay in getting funds to the tornado victims is going to result in more homes being condemned or wildly increasing the cost of repair. Water destroys everything. So many of these homes have been left exposed for so long. Interesting thought on that.
Yeah.
Also from the 314, we need those FEMA dollars to clear out St. Louis City from the debris. Like 6 months ago, this has gone on long enough, and we all need to say this is not okay. Our federal government is doing that.
Couple of other thoughts on the commercials. The most powerful one may have been the one about, I think it was Slugged Dirty Jews, where it was revealed that 2 out of 3 Jewish people in the United States have experienced some type of anti-Semitism, which I thought was wow. I'm trying to think.
And that was Kraft, the owner, what team does who paid
Kraft,
for that? Robert Kraft of
yes.
the Patriots, who paid for that. Yeah.
I thought it was also very cool that if you're going to have a Super Bowl in San Francisco and Santa Clara where the 49ers play, there should be nobody else but Joe Montana out there to toss the coin. It's so cool seeing Joe. And Peyton Manning was out there with him along with Lynn Swann, Super Bowl MVPs. But it was super cool Joe Montana just in a black sweater and black pants, not all dressed
I always feel like they make too much of all. I get it's the Super Bowl and they're stretching it all, but they act like the way they're explaining it, it's like you'd think no one had ever flipped a coin before. Like, all right, now this is heads and this is tails, and we're going to flip the coin. You're going to call it, and then you're going to win if you call it correct. It's like, I know how to flip a coin. We know how to do
Well, but then there's been a case in the last where at least where a few of our both our current president and a few of our previous presidents have had the opportunity to flip coins recently, and they have not understood the simplicity of how to actually flip a coin.
I mean, the mechanical aspect can be whatever, but just like how it's up in the air, you call it, you win it if you get it right. It just feels they're like, well, we have to stretch this out. It has to go longer, and that's how now we sing like 5 different songs before instead of just the national anthem. I don't know. It feels like a little bit too long. That's all I'm saying.
I thought Serena Williams's ad for weight loss was pretty powerful.
Right? That's the website she does.
And to see her look the way she looks, I mean, better than when she was finishing up her career, I would think that would be a pretty powerful commercial too.
You don't think that's a little, I don't know the word, harmful messaging in a lot of ways?
In what way?
Well, the only way you can look, good or look the right weight is by doing this. I'm a world-class athlete, and I still wasn't in the right shape.
I think that's what the data is. That's why the GLP-1s are so revolutionary, is the data is showing their
I get it. So I guess your argument is every single person from the day they're born should be on these things then. It just feels like a little bit I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
messaging.
I have to say, Connor, though, I have clients at Harvard that are not doing this because they're not that are physicians that have been part of this looking at task force for understanding how revolutionary this is and how because of the obesity crisis in our country and nothing else has been able to get to it. Now, this is your point is this is a commercial entity and it's sort of like mixing medicine and commercialism.
Well, I'm just saying, was there any doctor out there that was going to say Serena Williams was unhealthy before?
Yeah, that's the
So
question.
then I guess it's like you're saying I wasn't healthy before. I was the greatest female tennis player of all time. Now that I take these meds that you can buy, I'm healthy.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But she has, if you read more into it, she gained quite a bit of weight after she had her child, and she's in perimenopause.
Well,
Those are two tough factors for losing weight. It wasn't that she was. It's not that she was saying that I was 34 pounds overweight the whole time I was playing tennis. It's that she had conditions that changed.
Well, that's
in her
interesting.
life.
I didn't hear that explanation on her commercial.
She did not say that on the commercial. You have to read more women's magazine articles like I do to be able to get the
it's
background.
interesting. They're not putting those out there in the commercial.
That's right.
I thought for a minute we were going to go an entire Super Bowl without seeing a John Hamm commercial, and we did not. He did one with Ritz, for Ritz with Scarlett Johansson.
And
so he
that was
keeps
fun.
the
And
streak alive.
George Clooney, same thing. He's had a string of them as well, and he did the one. And then I thought the Instacart one was funny as well with Ben Stiller. That was one that got me laughing out loud. What about Mike Tyson?
Yeah, processed foods. That was my next item. That was really wild, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you know where that was going? I had no idea where that was going.
But we probably need more commercials about how bad processed foods are.
Well,
don't we?
I guess that's my question. I mean, we're sitting there, all of us, mostly. What are we eating? The most processed of processed foods during the Super Bowl. Is that going to change behavior?
No, my
at that
buffalo
time?
chicken dip. That's not processed.
That's. I guess when you think about the time it's airing, where we probably maybe our most unhealthy day of the year, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I don't know,
yeah.
does that make it more effective or?
And who paid? And of course, not. I'm going to quote my old buddy Elliot Davis, who paid for that. I did the government pay for that commercial because that's probably something that we can.
Well, I felt that way about the Trump account commercials. Who paid for that one? It was like very early on. It was a quick one. But it was like, hey, these exist. It's like. Did the taxpayer pay for that one? Why did that one exist?
I do not know. Did you see? The last couple of years, there's been a Christian organization that has done ones that related to Jesus, and this year's the more is not necessarily more theme. Did you see? I think there were 2 different ones. I thought they were very good.
Good.
Because they were just very. What we're always. It was kind of looking at just materialism and just overwhelm, and sometimes we just need to get back to the basics. And I thought that was not a bad message for us to consider.
The tight end commercial about prostate cancer, the PSA blood test was pretty effective with Bruce Arians, who's battled it as the spokesman. But they had all these great tight ends in one commercial: Tony Gonzalez, George Kittle, Gronk, Vernon Davis.
And John, who's a prostate cancer survivor, thought it was a really clever way to do that. Really liked it, and
it was funny and effective.
And that's always the downside of prostate cancer is there's people just didn't want to get the test. So the idea that we have an effective way to remind people a blood test is the way to go. It was cute, and hopefully will change some lives.
I just got a text from my producer from KFNS. He said, for the hell of it, I looked up the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks and I lined up 18 of them for your shows over the last 30 years. And my single worst interview of all time was John Unitas, who didn't want to talk when we had him on the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're getting some good things. Kid Rock as a role model, disgusting judgment on Trump's part. Somebody said they liked Turning Point's halftime show.
Yeah, was wonderful.
Wonderful, best part of the entire Super Bowl. I wonder what that number was. How many downloads?
Yeah. So definitely, I do think it was an interesting choice. I mean, the interesting choice as a role model. I think that's a fair question from all sides about why him versus other performers and artists out there. I mean, I know
it's mainly because he voted for him.
I know, but it was like if there's he's. I mean, just the lyrics of a number of songs, it was like that wasn't necessarily the best look ahead of time, I think.
If you like Trump, he's going to like you back, no matter what kind of past you have, no matter what.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. Hey, we have to take one more break, and before we do that, I want to talk about my friends over at Woods Basement Systems. They had gearing up for an incredible year, and that's because, believe it or not, they have been doing what they do for 40 years. I've been in this town for long enough now that they were a newer company back when I first got to know them, when I was a consumer reporter at Fox 2, and I did Contact 2 segments. I first met them in this situation where I remember this poor couple gave most of their life savings to a company that ended up being fly-by-night, ran away with their money, had promised that they were going to solve this major water issue they had in this home, and then their money was gone, and they were still ending up with a problem. And the folks over at Woods Basement Systems had seen the story and said, we want to be able to try to work with them to do what we can to help solve this problem. And then, sure enough, my friends at the Better Business Bureau said that, yes, they have this phenomenal record in an industry that tends to have not the best Better Business Bureau record, because sometimes basement waterproofing problems can be tough to solve. Woods has a fabulous record with the Better Business Bureau, and that formed a friendship and a business relationship and just a lot of mutual respect that continues all these years later as Woods gets ready to celebrate 40 years in the business of helping St. Louis homeowners solve their basement waterproofing problems. And now the business is expanded to help you with so many other things around your home to help hold on to its value as well. woodsbasementsystems.com, or give them a call, 618-708-4055.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newssetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend, or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
The Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with the mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hey, it's Heidi, and if the new year means a new look for your home, look no further than Dalco Home Remodeling. Let me just tell you, customers could not be happier. If you're looking for new windows, Dalco Home Remodeling has you covered. If you're looking for a new door, they can custom make you a front door. They can do French doors, they can do sliding doors, and they can stain it or paint it to whatever you have going on or whatever new color you want to add. Let me just tell you about some of the happy clients. You've got Alex, who said, I had Dalco replace several windows and doors on one of my properties, did a top quality job for me, would definitely recommend. And he's just one of many. You know, Dalco Home Remodeling has been around for more than 50 years. They are family owned and family operated. So if you're ready to get your dream project underway, go to DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. You can also give them a call at 314-298-7300.
It's Sarah Haynes from The View. Today, stronger immunity and better nutrition are more important than ever. That's why Eggland's Best gives you and your family more. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best provides 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, all helping you to maintain a strong immune system and better overall health. Plus, you get all that farm-fresh, delicious taste. These are no ordinary times, so why choose an ordinary egg? Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. What a heartwarming story yesterday at the Super Bowl. Kenneth Walker, who wins the MVP award, has a father, Kenneth Walker Jr. He's Kenneth Walker III. And he never wanted to go to the actual games because he has a real discomfort with crowds. So yesterday, he decides to go to his first NFL game in person, and he gets to watch his flesh and blood be the best player on the field and win the Super Bowl MVP. How about that? Could anything be better?
So are you sad? I mean, a couple of texters have texted in, and I feel this way. I'm always like pretty sick of football by the time the Super Bowl is over and ready to move on to other things. Are you sad when the Super Bowl is over because you love it all so much that it's the kind of the ending of one season, or you?
Well, yeah, I think football is one of the few that I really, there's going to be a little withdrawal. Yeah, it's so these playoffs are so exciting, and you got fantasy during the regular season. Yeah, we're going to have a real void. Thank goodness we have the Billikens because it won't be the Blues, and City SC is still a few weeks away.
Hey, they won their preseason game, Frank.
Right.
City SC.
Here they come.
They're on the up.
Oh, and tomorrow night I'm going to do an interview with the owner, Carolyn Kindle Betts, and Carolyn Kindle now, just Kindle, because they're unveiling the new uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
And they look to be very sensational.
Have you gotten any preview at all?
I have not. I will say this. They've gotten like everything right except the product on the field the last couple of years. Because the stadium, the uniforms, just the whole style of the organization.
And look at there.
Well, yeah, that's right. Year one was good. I believe. I'm with you, Connor. I believe. Connor, you love football too. You guys are both big fantasy football players. Do you think that really breeds the intensity of the interest, or you're a former player? Connor, do you get tired of football, or same? You just, it could go on forever and you would love it?
No, I mean the tired of it comes kind of like in the middle, the lull, where it's like, all right, this game isn't that important. It's too, whatever team's playing for nothing. But once the play, it's not now. I'm not tired of it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah. It's all the professional sports seasons just start to feel really long to me, but it's because
thank God for the Billikens. And speaking of the Billikens, Josh Schertz is one of our guests tonight on the Control Option Press Box. We'll talk about how he has become the darling or the most talked about college basketball coach, and maybe other schools trying to pursue him. He addresses that specifically. We'll also talk with Mike Jones, the author of The Greatest Tackle in Super Bowl History. And we'll talk with Howard Balzer, who covered the game for the 45th time in his great sports writing career, I should say.
That's going to be a fun show. Don't you feel about Josh Schertz like you do when you go on that incredible vacation and stay at this amazing resort that nobody else has discovered? You're like, I'm not telling anybody about how great this was. You kind of wish nobody else would know, but too late. I know that's exactly how they felt at Indiana State, too. They were heartbroken when we stole them away here in St. Louis. So may we never have that same sentiment or experience, for sure. What a fun show. We got another one, great one coming up for you tomorrow as well. Greg Willard is going to be in the house with some really interesting insights on some things happening in the world of federal law in our country. And then, of course, Joe Holloman in as well. So Julie Buck and John Carney up next, along with Max. And then Heidi, Josh, and Bob and the Heidi Glaus Show a little bit later. Keep your dial right here and make it a great day, everybody. You deserve it.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpets sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar, United Healthcare, will keep us informed and